Hi everybody, how are you? Today we are going to be discussing this book. It is called Day One. We're just going to wait for a few people to come on, and I am going to invite to join. Okay, we just have to wait for her to come on. Okay, hi everybody, how are you? We are discussing this book today, Day One, Chasing Finn, Finding Me. I'm going to be speaking to the author. It's a fascinating book. I love doing lives, helping people. So this author basically wrote a book, her own memoir, of all the diets that she tried. So it's really going to be fun to talk to her and explore some of the interesting, some of them are really even different or fun, diets that she tried and what's working for her. Hi, Miriam. So what we're going to do is we're going to add Miriam now. We're going to Once she accepts the invitation, she's going to be on. And again, we are discussing this book. You can buy it on Amazon. The link is on her page, and she's going to come on. It's Day One, Chasing Finn, Finding Me. Miriam, we are waiting for you. I sent you an invitation. She has to press a button that says, we'll see. Okay, I'll see if she comes on. In the meantime, I want to discuss another book that maybe I'll do a live next time with, and that it's a brand new book that I just bought. Miriam, I invited you. You have to press the invitation. Invite again. Miriam, you have to press that you accept, and then you'll be on, okay? I invited you. You have to press. I want to show you another book that just came out. It's called Smart Cookie. I'm going to read it. Once I read it, I'll try to get the authors on for a live. It's basically for teenagers about healthy eating, like what's smart eating. I wish we would have had this book when I was growing up. I find there's so much awareness about healthy eating these days. It's amazing. Miriam, you have to accept the invitation. Miriam, I keep inviting you and you're not accepting the invitation. I'm not seeing it. She's not seeing it. Okay. Press on the bottom, maybe. You'll see people and a plus sign, maybe. You want to come on that way, Miriam? Does anyone know how she accepts the invitation? Okay, I accepted her, so she should be on. I accepted you, Miriam, so you should be on. Where are you? Invite, okay. Now you have to accept it. Let's try it. You pressed something before. That was good. Whatever you pressed before, do it again. I invited you again, Miriam. Miriam Weiser is unable to join. I don't know why. What should we do? You have anyone in the house that can help you? I'm inviting you again. I don't know why it says that you can't join. This is so strange. Does anyone know how to help her? I sent her an invitation. Oh, she joined.
Hello,
Great.
I did it.
Yes, you're there, Miriam. Okay, great. Hi, Miriam. Everyone,
Hi,
this is Miriam. Miriam Weiser. Miriam, what's your maiden name? I forgot. Someone asked me today. I didn't know.
my name is Lowenson.
Oh,
My
Lowenson.
maiden name.
Nice. Nice. Okay, great. I see books in the background. So we are
Yes.
talking to Miriam. She's an author. Let's dive right into it because I have a lot to ask you and talk to you about.
Okay.
Miriam,
Yeah.
tell us a little about your background. Like, where did you grow up? Did you always
All
grow up
right.
from? What kind of background? Yeah.
Okay. So I grew up in Borough Park, and I went to Sackler School, and I lived there all my life until recently.
Wow.
And this is my fourth book so far.
Wow. So when did you start writing? That's really what I
So,
wanted to ask you.
so before I start talking, I want to give a couple of disclaimers.
Okay.
Okay. It's important for me that everybody understands that I am not an expert. The only experience I have is my own life story, and it's my own story. And even though so many people share the same experiences and the same stories, this is my story, and everybody has to search and look for their own story. And whatever I don't give advice, I give theories, I give my opinions. And that's the disclaimer I wanted to give. I've been writing for probably close to 3 decades. I was writing long before I knew that I was writing. I would just doodle all over. I remember my first job, I would write in back of all the scrap papers. If they would know it, they probably would have a fit because it was all kinds of legal stuff.
Document. But I'm
But
just curious, going to Satmar, like, again, I don't want to be judgmental, but going to Satmar, did you have to teach yourself writing and English and vocabulary? Like,
no, Satmar learns English and vocabulary, maybe a little bit less than other schools, but we obviously know how to speak English. I did take a creative writing course. I went to an NYU continuing education course, and I took another course via mail. That was before the internet, right
right,
before the internet.
right.
So I did, acclimate myself a little bit with the whole business. But as with so many other things, it's you just go, you go,
You
and
keep going. One thing
you
leads
keep
to
going,
another.
and
I
you
know,
make
I know.
mistakes, and you learn things, and
I always say take an opportunity because even if it's not your A job, it's a B job, it might lead you to the A job.
yeah.
Right. So tell us a little about, you're starting to write and what books did you write until you came to this book?
The
Yeah.
first book that I wrote is Don't Look Back. It's a memoir of someone who got smuggled herself out of Iran with her family, and it's a very interesting story. And I met the woman, and she just insisted that I write her book, even though I had never written a book before. She just insisted, and I guess that was my first thing. It took many years to publish. When it finally got published, I got the push. And that's when I went to my next book and my next book. So, Baruch Hashem,
Wow.
that's how it went.
Wow. It's unbelievable. Okay. When did you get the idea? Because you do write it in the book when it hit you to have the idea to write your personal story of your weight journey.
So that idea hit me of writing, of actually writing it the way it's written now, with each chapter should be a diet. But way, way before, I was writing my diaries, obviously, because they're in the book. And every now and then, I would take out a book and I would write down some of my thoughts. So then I found my diaries a couple of years ago, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna put it into a book. And that's what I did. It took a little while, but here I am.
It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. So Kol Hakavod. That's first of all.
And it's
Okay.
important for people to know that it's writing down your thoughts. It's not just journaling and it's not just whatever, but later on, it's like priceless.
Right.
And
I know, I know,
I'm
I know.
sharing this with everyone. My
I know.
priceless.
You know
Yeah.
what it is? So most of your diaries you hand wrote, like it was handwritten, or you were already doing it on the computer?
Oh no, everything was handwritten
Wow, wow.
in a few different spirals and a few different notebooks
Yeah.
and papers.
So
It was
I'm
all over
like
the
you.
place.
I'm a paper and pen person. Like I even have a calendar in my pocketbook. I can't use the iPhone as a
No,
calendar.
I do. Just for this. For this, it was written, but everything else is, I am a
You
little
do
bit more
computer. Oh,
on my
interesting.
phone. Yeah.
So, okay, so like I told you before, I feel that I could have written this book. I also have gone through a lot of, issues with weight and
I've
I had a
got
lot.
that. I've got these comments from so many people. I've gotten feedback from the book, and everyone says the same thing. I could so relate. It's like as if you wrote my story. And I
Right,
knew that's
right,
going to happen, and that's the reason I wrote it.
right. Okay, so it's like we discussed, somebody is writing me too. It's like what we discussed, food is around us 24/7. It really
100%.
is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like we discussed, like an alcoholic, he could decide I'm not walking into a bar, I'll be safe. I'm not,
Right.
or I'm not going to go to that particular wedding because I know that they're serving a lot of liquor. But
So you don't need it
food,
to survive.
yeah, we wake up in the morning and it's like what I wrote in the book about putting the right kind of gas in your car, right? If you're going to put diesel, where that belongs in a truck, not in you. We need to put food into our body, and each one of us is individual. Okay, let's start. For those that didn't read the book yet, um, tell me about some of the diets because some of them were really like outrageous, like that doctor you went to.
So
Um,
most of the diets that I've gone on is what most people have gone on, you know.
Right.
The protein diet, the cabbage diet, the 3-day diet, all these
That
crazy things.
cabbage soup diet, I have to say, I never tried.
No?
Tell us
Okay.
a little about that. I heard about it, I never did it.
I'll tell you what, it was a very short stint. It was very, very long ago. I hardly remember it, but I had to do some research when I was writing the book. 'Cause I did remember the diet because I remembered when everybody was doing it. And also, it comes in trends. You know, now is the Ozempic trend, but they were trends. Start Fresh was a trend, even
I
though a
remember
lot of people
Star
may
Fresh.
still be going, but it's still, everything is a trend, especially when you're growing up and you're with friends and you're with classmates and school, you know, everything is a trend. Like, oh, you lost weight? Okay, I'll do it too, as if everyone's built the same way.
Right, right. No,
So
there's no
most of the
question.
diets were like that.
Then you had that interesting diet with that doctor. You had to do 2 shakes a day and then a meal, right?
So people are always telling me that that particular diet was my most successful diet. And so I say, how could you call it successful, even though I lost so much weight so beautifully on it, when afterwards, what happened? How can you
Hmm.
call it successful? Successful only means that it worked and it's working. But if what happens is the minute you go off it, you gain back everything plus, then it's not successful in my mind.
See,
So,
so you mentioned Weight Watchers also in the book. So I remember when I went to Weight Watchers, we had gone to the Y. There were meetings in the Y. I'm never going to forget. Um, they were promoting a way of life. They never said it's a diet. Weight Watchers. They even had Oprah at one point. She was advertising
yeah.
for them. You know,
So they get a celebrity to advertise it.
right? They get a celebrity to
Okay.
advertise. Yeah. But they did advertise a way of life because they let you eat the pizza. Do you remember? You just had to count it as the points. We had a point system.
Right. But as I explained in the book, I'm not a math person. I'm not a numbers person. So
Oh,
I got it all wrong from the beginning.
oh. And then I know there are people that do like a calorie diet. They figure out how many calories they need a day. And based on that, there's one diet that you did not mention in the book that I would like to mention because I did it. It's called the 1 hour diet.
Okay, I never heard of
And
that.
it's a riot. I have a friend that's still on it all through her pregnancies and now she's in menopause. It's a 1 hour diet, meaning you have 2 solid meals a day of a salad and a protein, unlimited water all day, obviously. 1 hour a day, you can eat whatever you want. Doesn't matter if it's the pizza, the ice cream.
Oh, I think I did hear about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was a book,
Yeah.
and we all read the book. And I'll tell you, it worked when I did it because if you work in an office and they have an office party, you save your hour for that hour. If
Right.
you're doing with the grandchildren, you're going out for pizza on Friday, you do it that 1 hour. So it really works with active
But
lifestyles.
but if you think about it,
Yeah,
if you
somebody
think about it,
commented. She
it's
remembers it. Yeah.
terrible for your life, for your it's a terrible way of you know, the mindset is a terrible thing if you're trying to be healthy. Because it's like, what's time got to do with it? If you want to be healthy, then you just have to choose the right foods at the right time. It, I don't know, whatever. You realize what I'm saying, right? It's
Right,
terrible
right.
for the mindset.
Right, I hear you. But for some people, I guess it worked. There's another diet I wanted to mention because I went up to my bedroom to look for all my diet books. You
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 kept
brought it
them,
out in me, yeah.
okay?
This probably helped me the most only because I have insulin resistance. Ever since I hit puberty, I had PCOS, and then my sugars were always. I need to eat six small meals a day. I
Don't
always
we
did.
all?
Most
Yeah,
people need that. Yeah.
yeah.
So it was Adele Pune. I was schlepping to the city to go to her once a week. I had to write down my food, a food journal. I mean, you definitely agree that a food journal works, right? Like just to
No,
see no, you don't. You don't
I
agree with
hated
that.
it. Every
Oh, you
time I
hated
went
it.
into a nutritionist, the first thing they said was, "Here, write down what you." No, absolutely not. I hated it
You hated it. But
because I don't
see,
eat every day the same thing.
no, I know, but I love it when I write it down because at the end of the day, wow, I ate that. I ate that. I grabbed that. Like I'm saying to write it down as you go
I
along.
guess I don't want to be accountable for things. I just don't.
Oh, you know.
Sue me.
Anyways, so this 5-day miracle diet is really not a 5 days. She just needed a good cover for her book, Adele Pune. It was all about insulin resistance, which I needed at that time. Meaning, if you are going to have a little ice cream, let's say for someone like me that has to watch her sugar, eat it together with a cucumber or a hard chew vegetable because that absorbs the sugar. So it doesn't give you such a spike. Do you understand? Because like if I'll give you an example. I had this on Matzah Shabbos. I took my grandchildren to the play, Cinderella. By the way, it was fantastic. And I should have brought along something healthy to eat, like a protein bar or maybe some popcorn, something light. And you get hungry, you're like munching by the play, you know? And
Right.
one of my Einekloch had a little bag of chocolate, and I took some chocolates. I fell asleep in the middle of the play.
Wow.
It because the sugar hits me right away. I'm not allowed to do sugar alone, never. But that's just me. So going back to you, did you how does the book end? What kind of are you doing anything now? Because you, by the way, I know you don't like when people comment you either way, but you do look fantastic.
Well, I love a compliment just like anybody else, but I always say that looking good has nothing to do with losing weight. I've been all weight and I've always gotten a compliment that I look good. I'm not begging for it, I just get it. I'm just kidding, but people say, "Oh, you lost weight, you look great." If somebody loses, 200 pounds and they look like a skeleton, they do not look great. Don't tell me they look great just because they lost weight and it's a way of saying you look great. No, you don't. What your words mean something is what I'm saying. So I look good, thank you very much, but I look good before too. So my point is just that looking good is one thing, having lost weight is another thing.
Uh-huh. So you want to keep them separate, you're saying.
No, I'm saying that if you want to give someone a compliment, you can give a compliment. My losing weight has nothing to do with my looking good, unless I looked like a balloon the last time you saw me,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
right?
Well, yeah, which brings me to my next question. What was your most embarrassing story? Because I remember something that happened to me. I'll share soon. You have like an embarrassing story
So
with your weight?
here's the thing. Um, Wait, I wrote it down here. I really haven't had many embarrassing moments. I've thought about this even as I was writing the book. I haven't had too many embarrassing moments because I don't really care what people think of me so much. Of course, I want to make a good impression, just like anybody else, but it doesn't bother me so much. I get dressed when I go out. I don't go out like looking like a schmata because of my own sense of value. But the only thing I could think of, and I wrote it in the book, is the time when I tried on my wedding gown. And I was wearing the wrong underwear and I was wearing it the wrong way. And I had forgotten that I didn't pull it up all the way. And it was, and they gave me a gown that was 3 sizes too small for me just to see it on me. So I was like, and then my mother and my aunt were there. And I was so embarrassed because I was so stupid that I didn't fix myself before. And that was
Wow.
the only time that I could remember that I was really embarrassed. Other than that, I really don't,
Wow.
I
Wow.
don't
No,
allow
because I'm just
myself.
thinking, sometimes it's hard for someone that's very overweight, like to go on a plane. We did fly Pesach one year with someone that bought two seats. He
Right.
bought two
Okay.
seats like this. He should be comfortable on the plane.
So I'll tell you what. So no, I haven't had such situations because when I did go on a plane, I didn't travel a lot that much over the years, but I didn't have that issue because somehow it always fit me.
Wow, that's
Somehow,
that's that's
even at
really
my
nice.
heaviest.
So my
Yeah.
most embarrassing weight story, when I thought about it, was I was walking on the street years ago on 13th Avenue, and I had gained some weight, and someone stopped me and said, "Oh, it's so nice, you're pregnant again," and I wasn't pregnant. And
I got such a remark. I thought it was
oh, you
hilarious.
didn't?
The
Oh, you
young
thought it was
person was much
hilarious,
more embarrassed that you said it to me
right? They
than
get
me. I
embarrassed.
wasn't
They're like,
embarrassed.
"Oh,
I thought it
honey,
was
I'm so
funny.
sorry." I know.
My natural shape is that way, that I have a very big stomach. That's just my natural shape. You know what? And if more people didn't think that I was, then it's a miracle. You know?
No, but it shows me also we have to be careful. We have to be careful what comes out of our mouth and what we comment to other people.
Yeah, because other people get offended. I don't get offended so fast.
Right, right, right. But people could get offended. And I think we should be careful. I don't think we should comment on someone else's weight, period.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that.
Or like how they look in regards to whether they lost weight or not. Right, right, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very important. It's true, it's true, it's true. So, what do you want readers when they finish the book? What was your goal? What was your goal with the book?
Okay, so uh,
Like, what
my
did you want
goal,
readers to like walk away with? Like, what's the main message of the book? It's very entertaining because you're a balabusta, so I love all the recipes in here. I really would like to try some, and then I guess I'll give you some feedback.
the thing about the
Um,
recipes is that, so yes, I am a lot in the kitchen, and I cook a lot for families, and I'm busy in the kitchen a lot. My family is obviously my first priority all the time. For example, I was writing a manuscript now, and I pushed myself to finish it because I knew Purim and Pesach are coming up, and I wanted to have that off my schedule so I can focus completely on that. So I'm very focused on that. So when it came to, feeding my family and everything, I tried to take delicious recipes and just make it a little healthier. I don't know if a real nutritionist is going to say, oh yeah, that's healthier, but in my mind, that's what I prefer to believe. If I substitute, coconut sugar for regular sugar, I substitute, maybe coconut oil or olive oil for margarine. Like I
right,
did
right, right.
some changes. I tried different flours, almond flour, other kinds of flours,
Do
and
you
all
ever
that.
shop in Costco or not?
Yeah,
Because even Costco has shifted. If you go to Costco, you have avocado oils, you have the almond flour.
yeah. Oh,
Years
they
ago it
always had.
wasn't like that. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
I
different.
bought a lot of almond flour there and avocado oil and almond. So that's what I'm saying. This is what I would do. I would take a recipe, any recipe that I've seen anywhere, and I would sort of try to fix it around so that it's healthier. It wasn't always great. My kids always looked at me really suspiciously when I said, "Here, try this new thing." They would look at my facial expression. I could never hide it
Mm.
because I can't keep a straight face. But like they would try not to, figure out what did you put in this time. I once made have you seen the recipe with the avocado and chocolate and it became like a chocolate mousse?
Yes,
You seen that? So I
yes.
made it and I put it nicely into these pudding cups or something. And I'm like, here, taste this chocolate pudding or whatever. And my kids were like, they saw a smirk on my face and they didn't want to taste it because I couldn't keep a
Your
straight
kids are
face.
writing, oh, we knew that they knew there was avocado in there.
So every time
I
I made
see.
a new recipe, they were like, ugh, what did you put in there this time? So it didn't always come out good, but for the most part, we enjoyed a lot
Great.
of it.
Okay, so going back, what was your goal? What do you want readers to walk away with this book? What was the
I
goal of
want,
the book?
I want
Besides for
people,
being entertaining, because it really is when you go through all the different diets and the offices you went through and going back once a week, it's fun to read it.
yeah. I like to take the fun. I like to put, how do you say it? I wanted to say take the fun out of life, but I meant to say that I like to make life fun. And people walking around with their heavy weight around them, they're walking around with misery on their face, and it bothers me so much. People are walking around and telling me, how did you do it? Oh my gosh, I can't take me anymore. And things like that bother me. It goes to my heart. And I'm like, you have one life. Enjoy it. And if you're not physically comfortable, then find a hobby, eat a little less whatever, and eat a little more whatever, something healthy, and just focus on something else. I'm not like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not saying don't lose weight. I'm not saying don't go on a diet. What I'm saying is don't make it such a huge focus in your life that you're so miserable because I cannot take misery. I
Right,
cannot
right,
stand it.
right, right, right. So you want people to walk away with a good feeling, happy, whatever size you are. I just, like we discussed, for me, when I'm at a heavier weight, I'm not healthy because I have that sugar problem. Do you understand? So
Right,
it's imperative for me. It could be dangerous for me to be overweight. I might end up in the hospital with
right. So this
diabetes.
is
You
my
understand? Yeah.
point. This is my point is that every person is different. So who is this diet expert to tell me when they don't even know me at all. They don't take my blood work. They don't ask for my history.
Right,
They
right,
don't ask for my diet, my weight history, any of my history at all. All they do is they come and they shove a paper in your face and say, write down what you eat. That's
right.
not good enough, you know? And just to say that I took some blood work the other day, and Baruch Hashem, my blood work is pinpoint. I mean, Baruch Hashem, every single one is in perfect condition. So nobody should come and tell me that overweight people are less healthy than skinny people. These skinny people, I don't know, the people I've met in my life, every time I hear a skinny person has like, aches and pains, or they have cholesterol, or they have vice what, and I'm like, the doctors are just lying to us. Because you can be overweight and healthy, and who's to say what's overweight? Also, you have to know yourself if you're comfortable. You're not comfortable, go ahead and make yourself comfortable, but not by being miserable. That's all. That's my message.
It's so interesting how you say that you don't want to take advice from these people just sitting there by the desk and they throw a paper at you. I have a funny story, a little unrelated, but it's the same idea. I had 5 kids in 6 years. And
Wow.
can
I
I,
never
Nari?
did that.
I couldn't cope and I was a little down. I wasn't sure if it was postpartum or what. So I called up Rabbi Twersky, Rabbi Abraham Twersky. I don't know. He says, go to the Jewish Board of Family Services. They're right in your neighborhood. I take my double carriage. I schlep to the Jewish board. They're 3 flights up without an elevator. 2 crying babies. Now, I'm suspected to
They
have a
had
little
an
bit.
elevator. They had an elevator.
Yeah, they did? Okay.
Uh,
I don't know.
yeah, okay.
Somehow I got up there. When I walk into the room, the girl that they gave me is a young girl. She's an intern. She's probably 21. She had like a bun in her hair. And I noticed one of the children who I had just changed the pamper at home had made. I had to change his pamper. And I just started crying.
I
And
was
she
waiting for
looks at
that.
me, yeah, and she looks at me, she says, what's wrong, honey? And I said, you wouldn't begin to understand. Like, I know a professional with degrees at the end of their thing. I love them. I only go to professionals, but don't give me someone 21 who never changed the pamper when I have 5 kids under 6 years. And I told you that on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
A hundred
So,
percent.
so it's a little
I
similar
said,
to what you were saying. Yeah.
yeah, I was saying something similar with one of the nutritionists that I went to, one of my further attempts, and I asked on the phone. I said, like, I want to know, like, for me, it's important to know someone's at least closer to my age or a little older than me. Someone who's 30 years younger than me that doesn't understand anything, no matter what they studied, right? And
Right.
I go in there and the kid is about 19 years old and she wants to tell me what to eat. I was put off right
Right.
away. I lost 6 pounds that first week, but that's not because of anything. It's just because I ate less that week because I had to write it down. The following week, I was like, I'm not writing down what I'm eating.
Uh-huh. Okay, so could you share with us how you end the book? What are you currently doing now? Are you happy with your weight now? And is it a long-term solution?
It's very hard to say if it's a long-term solution because I don't know what the next step is going to be. I don't know for how long I can do the GLP-1s. I've been doing it for a few years now, and if someone asked me, are you at your goal weight? No. What's a goal weight? I don't know. All I wanted to be was more comfortable, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I really don't know what's going to be. I'm just as scared as anybody else. If I stop it, that I'll gain back weight, which is very
Mm-hmm.
scary after having gone through everything they've gone through till
Right.
now.
So I happen to be on Managura, and my nutritionist and my doctor, both feel that this is a long-term thing, that if someone needs it medically, just like people take Synthroid for thyroid every day, people take high
Right.
cholesterol every day or blood pressure, it's until the day that they keep going. They feel that this is a long-term solution.
So with you having the sugar issue, it's for you a medical necessity. In some people, this is how some people put it. And that's how my doctor got me to convince me to start to begin with. He was explaining to me this because I said, so what's going to be? Let's say I lose 100 pounds. What's going to be after? He said, so this is what he said. This is what he answered me.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Wow. Okay, so what's next on the agenda for you as an author? Are you working on your next book?
So my next memoir just got accepted by the publisher.
Oh, wow.
I specialize in writing memoirs for people. I've written some that weren't published for the public, just stayed in the family.
Oh,
And my
that's such a
first,
nice idea. Like you're saying for an anniversary gift or a yard site.
yeah,
That's so
it's a
interesting.
lot of people have very interesting stories and stuff, and it's important to they feel like it's important to write it down before before it's too late, and then they want their children to know, the children and the grandchildren. And,
Mhm.
it's interesting and it's inspirational. Some people live such difficult lives, and then some of us go around complaining that we have a few extra pounds in our waist, or, or they have, or they don't have enough, whatever. But when you read the story of someone who has deaths in the family, sickness in the family, jail time, and all kinds of crazy things, then it makes you think again that, you have to be grateful for what you have.
Right. I really, each of us do have a story. Technically,
Yeah.
everybody can write. What advice do you have for young women starting out who want to write and who are motivated to write? Like, you have any advice for them?
Let's see. I'm really not an expert, like I said. Um, the only advice I can give is it sounds very cliche. You have to just keep writing and keep, uh, trying, sending in. You never know where it's going to take you.
Mm,
I can't believe that I have all these books here. It's unbelievable to me, because I don't even remember doing them. It's like,
wow.
you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm just doing what I'm doing and I'm loving and enjoying it. I do it on my own time.
Right.
And
Somebody is asking nothing about men. I think the weight loss that applies to women really applies to men. It's really the same thing. If
yeah,
it's
that's
different
my
things that
son. He knows everything.
oh, that's so cute. I'm wondering if anybody that's listening to the live now, if they have any other diets that they tried that are not mentioned in the book. There's one diet that we started talking about, privately on the phone was the OA, the Overeaters Anonymous. I personally love it just because the meetings are free. You can do a meeting in the comfort of your own home. I used to go to live meetings at one point.
I was
I always
wondering what you were saying. How do you do a meeting from your house? Like a Zoom thing?
They have both. Since COVID, there are a lot of Zoom meetings, but even before COVID, they just did phone. It's anonymous, it's on the phone, you call in. They usually do a reading, like some literature from the big book or from any of the 12-step, work. And then people share. They have a timer, they have a 3-minute share, and everybody gets to share how they related to the literature that was read, or they'll sometimes pick a topic. You know, as a
Yeah,
matter of fact, this morning's OA meeting on the phone, 5:30 in the morning when I can't sleep, was the tool of writing. Like to write down your feelings instead of stuffing your face about them. Like if
right.
you had, yeah.
I've always said, my mother always used to say, I don't have that kind of problem. I like to eat. I eat because I like to eat. And don't make up all kinds of stories. I eat because of this, that, or the other thing. I just like to eat, she used to say.
Wow.
And I feel like I don't know if I eat my emotions because if I get nervous and stuff, I rather don't eat.
Oh, you
And
see,
I'm also
that's where people are different. That is what it is. Everyone's
right,
different.
and that's why
I
I'm
told
saying this.
you when my father
Yeah,
was Mr., I went from
right.
the funeral to the fridge. I saw it. No one else
Yeah.
did. I went to open the fridge and I stayed there for a whole year in the fridge.
I'm telling you these things because I want people to understand that everybody's different. That's why a diet can't tell you what to do because they don't know your body. And the same thing like this. Most people who have weight issues are night eaters, night snackers. I
Yes,
am not.
yes.
I am
Oh,
not.
you're not? Oh, wow,
No.
wow.
I go to sleep.
Oh, by the way, there's a new diet that a lot of my friends are on. It's called the intermittent fasting,
Oh,
where
I heard about the fasting.
yes,
Yeah.
you only eat, let's say, till 6 o'clock at night. So if you go to a wedding, I have friends that sit by a wedding, they won't touch a thing. 6 o'clock, they will stop eating, and you don't start eating till the next morning, like 10 o'clock. There's a certain amount of hours that you need to refrain from eating.
So I basically do that almost basically without even planning it because I'm not a night eater. After supper, usually, I'm not saying I never do, but usually I don't. I never come out of bed in the middle of the night to go snack. I hear people doing that and I don't understand how they could. And so there's a lot of different things that a lot of overweight people have that I don't have. That's why I always try to, my mind works a lot. You can tell from reading the book. I always try to figure out what makes me me because I don't have the same things that other overweight people have. I love food and I love cake and it makes me feel good to eat whatever. Just to be able to just be allowed so that I allow myself to eat whatever I want whenever I want. Not because I need to, not because I want to. Not always do I want to. And it happens to be that I got up to 310 pounds as my highest weight. I don't even know how I did that. I'm not saying I didn't eat a lot, but I never sat down and ate a whole cake.
Oh, okay.
Never.
Because somebody did type before, like if she can eat a whole cake, it's just sitting there. I've done a loaf of bread. I've done a loaf of fresh bread and butter. I've done
I
that.
think the most I could have done was 4 or 5 slices, which is a lot,
Really?
but it's not a
Yeah.
whole loaf of bread.
Wow.
I was never able to do that. And I remember at one point that I told myself, you don't even know what hungry feels like because you're never hungry because you're always eating,
Right.
you know. So
But
and I
I want to tell you something. Do you think somebody that is very erlich, right? And is and really an avodas Hashem, he's like a himmlish mensch, and he really makes that bracha. Do you think those people have a healthier way of eating because they're mindful? When they eat something, a bracha needs to be in a seat, sitting with you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
because I find I'm not mindful of my brachos because if I'm running from the counter to this and in the car I'm snacking and I'm walking out of the house and I'm eating, when exactly am I making a bracha rishona and a bracha acharona?
I feel like is there a limit to making brachas because I make brachas all day long. For
Uh-huh.
eating, after eating, and then I'm eating again, and then again after
I know,
eating. I
but if
don't
I'm
stop.
always eating, um, if
But and then another thing is that people are so different that some people are just naturally go for bread, like me and my kids, and we love bread. It's the first thing. If I want to eat breakfast, I go, okay, let's see which type of bread I have. Do I have in the freezer rye bread, or do I have bagels, or do I have pizza bread, or do I want to do crackers? That's what I start with.
Mhm.
And then I say, okay, what's the protein going to be? And this is what I work on a lot. And sometimes lately I also do, I go, okay, first let me see my protein. Do I want to stick with cheese? Do I want to do the eggs, or tuna? And I go to the protein first, and then I see, do I want, because I'm trying to work on, I need to eat more protein. And that's another point that instead of saying what can't you have, what to restrict from, say what you should have more of. For
Right,
example, I
that's the
don't
more
say
positive,
I
right?
don't say I need to eat less cake. I say I need to eat more protein.
Right. I
I
love
need
that.
to eat more fruit.
By the way, talking about protein, I remember I also did the sleeve. I saw that you did the bypass, right?
Yes.
I did the sleeve, and I remember after the sleeve, he told me if you want to recover, you need lots of protein. Protein is
Yeah.
very good when someone has any kind of surgery, it helps them heal. I
Yeah,
remember
and I,
that.
I don't know. I think I wrote this in the book. I'm not sure, but I remember that by one of my surgeries afterwards, we went to this class, this nutrition class, to teach us, what's important. So she went on and on about how the protein is the most important thing because that's what you need. Vegetables has nothing for you. There's no minerals. It's made out of water. I cannot forget how she said that it just went into my, and I have such a hard time eating vegetables since then.
Really?
Because, yeah, because a nutritionist made a comment and said, vegetables has nothing for you. There's no nutrition in vegetables.
Wow. Okay. You know what? I think you should go out and buy this book. It's called Smart Cookie. It's a brand new book that some nutritionists wrote. It's made for the teenagers in our community. I wish that we
Yeah.
would have had this book when we were growing up.
What
because
does it do for you?
it basically goes through how important it is to just eat healthy and what vegetables do to your body, what it gives you, it breaks down all the vitamins. It's
Right,
unbelievable.
right.
Really breaks down all the vitamins. It's really nice. I just realized also, I didn't mention the diet. I didn't see it in your book either. It's called Fit for Life. For years,
Yes, yes. It's in my book.
oh, it's in your book. I didn't see it that
Yeah,
where you start your day with fruits.
yeah. I
So
did
I'm
that.
just, oh, you did.
I did versions of that over the years because I always knew, okay, to start the day with fruit is a good thing, right? And then eating protein and vegetables is a good thing without the starch. So I did my own versions of that over the years whenever I wanted to do something to lose a few pounds or something. But
Mm.
none of these guides ever stuck.
Right. So I just want to say I do have a friend though that does Fit for Life for years, and
Yeah.
she maintains her weight. If I do fruit in the morning, the whole room spins. I
Uh,
cannot have a fruit in the morning no matter what. I
so
start
that's how
my
you
day
have to
like
know.
fruit. You see, you have to know yourself. That's the
Yeah.
bottom line. We're taking away from this live. A person has to know themselves. What works for you might not work for me. The main thing is I'm really blown away though at the amount of research that you did for this book. When I look
Yeah.
at the back of the book and I see all the books and authors and nutritionists that you mentioned, was this one of the books? Because I was going through my library today, Feeding the
Yes. You
Hungry.
have
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
I have that. And then Marianne Cohn, we mentioned French Toast for Breakfast. Did you ever read that book?
No, I don't remember
Oh,
now.
it's a very cute book. I couldn't find it. Did you mention this book? Because I found this also, Food Addiction.
No, I don't think
I
so.
guess not. Okay, so there you have it. Barnes and Nobles is
Yeah.
probably full of books that we've never even read.
Yeah.
Um, one more thing I did want to mention. You touched briefly on the book about it, but I am a big fan of the exercise.
Yeah.
Not even so much for maintaining weight, just for mood. It's Rosh Chodesh Adar tonight. Hello.
Yes.
We're starting a new month. It's very exciting. And Marvin Basimcha, we're just supposed to be happy. I did a kickboxing class this morning in Lakewood. And all day I am on a high from this kickboxing class.
Let me tell you, I don't know how you do it. I see you doing tennis. I see you being here. I see you being there. I don't know how you do it. I'm such a homebody, and you're just always out and about. I need to learn how to do that. The truth is, you drive, and I'm
Right.
looking
The
for a
drive.
friend who drives. Anybody out there who knows? Um, and
She
I
lives
I'd
in
love
Muncie,
to
right?
go
You're
out
in
and do
Muncie
these
now.
things. Yes.
Yeah.
And I would love to do these things. I would love to play tennis and I would love to do all these things. But in order to commit myself to something like that, I don't know. I don't know why I have this fear of committing myself to something like that. I'm sure there's plenty of places around here that have these things.
Right. So when I actually started tennis when I had those five kids in 6 years, I had to get out of the house. I have a friend of mine that wanted to play tennis as a social thing. You get to meet people. So it was like a from league happening in Borough Park. So I joined. Fast forward, it's 30 years later. She's not playing. She hasn't lifted a racket, and I'm still going to the same league. It's once a week. We have a group, and they rely on you. So I have
Yeah,
to be committed because if I don't come, then there aren't four people on the court.
right, right.
Stand, yeah.
And you learned it then, or you've gotten better over the years, or what? Because I've
Yeah.
never lifted a tennis
Right.
racket in
No,
my
you
life.
basically take a couple of lessons. You take
Oh,
a couple of
okay.
lessons. It's very right. And they teach you how to take the ball and hit it over the net. And then but now the latest craze is pickleball. You might do better with pickleball. It's a more
What's that?
effective. It's four people on the court also. It's with rackets and balls, but it's smaller rackets and a smaller court. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's called
Okay.
pickleball. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
latest craze. Yeah, it really is the latest craze. So, you have any closing remarks that you would like to share with us?
I do. First thing I want to say is that the body is going to do what the body is going to do. Stop stressing, because if you're stressing, then the body holds on to things when you're stressing, right? So if you're stressing about your weight, stop stressing and things will even out, right?
Mhm. There are
Um,
studies done that you can gain weight from stress. high levels of stress because it raises your cortisol levels, and also from lack of sleep.
Right, but everybody knows that the mental and physical are connected and related to each other. And so if you're thinking and you're miserable and you're stressing about your weight, then your body is going to hold on to extra weight, I think, right?
Right.
Okay. And I also want to say that I don't consider myself a success story in regard to weight and diet. Who cares? You know, you can talk about it for years and years, and it also bothers me a lot when people constantly talk about it. Diets and I should be eating and I shouldn't be eating and I'm going to eat and I'm going to
I have
exercise
news
and I
for
should.
you. My friends that are constantly talking about it are very boring. I'd
That
rather not
I
sit at a table with, honestly, I'd
100%.
rather not sit at a table with,
They're eating, and they're saying that they shouldn't be eating. So
right.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
But I do consider myself a success story in terms of attitude
Love that.
because I refuse to be miserable. I want to be happy, and that's it. And I think that's a very important thing in life.
Right. One more thing that we didn't touch upon, which I just thought because you wrote, I think you wrote this in the book, like, what is your goal? Why would somebody want to go on a diet or lose weight, right? I think you mentioned it, or maybe not. I'm sorry. It was another book. I've been pulling books out of shelves.
Yeah,
See, for me, I worked at Tory Burch. That's how my
right,
whole story unfolded because I started telling everyone who came into the story. And I grew up with a mother in clothing. She's the buyer for S&W for over 50 years. So I grew up with magazines in the house. We were only girls. I enjoy fashion. So for me, if I can't buy a size that the stores are selling, and you know that the designer clothes only go up to a certain size,
right,
the real designers that have like a more couture fit are not going up to a bigger size. So for me, that was always a motivation. Besides that, I don't feel good. Like I
right,
said, if I'm going to eat that little chocolate and fall asleep during a play, that's ridiculous. I paid money to
right.
sit through the play. I should enjoy it. So every time you went on a different diet, what was the goal? Just to feel better, so you shouldn't be so heavy walking up the steps?
Yeah, I
What
should
was it?
lose weight. I
It
should
was.
lose weight,
But
and the numbers and the scales should go down. That was the point.
But it was
Why
to
else would
feel
somebody go on a
no,
diet?
but it was to feel better,
Oh,
or it was to look better. That's what I'm asking you.
oh. It
It's a
was both,
combination. It could be a
but I'll tell you
combination,
what,
right?
my weight didn't never really. Of course, I was uncomfortable when I was that much overweight, but medically, I was always fine. Baruch
Right,
Hashem,
right.
you
Which is
know.
really great. I really admire. Yeah, I mean, that's how Hashem made you. You
That's
know.
how, that's
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the point I tried to make is that just because the number on the scale says something, it doesn't mean you're not healthy, and it doesn't mean that you have to go and change your whole whatever, everybody. The thing is, I also talk a lot about instinct, basic the instinct of a person. You know yourself the best, better than anyone else. It's just that we lose our instincts, our natural instincts, when everybody else tells us what to do and how much to eat and when not to eat and all those kinds of things. We lose it ourselves. I recently saw a video. My daughter sent me a video of her little girl when she was about, how old was she? 2, 3? And for some reason she was videoing. Why not? And the kid said, "I don't want anymore." And she says, "You finished?" "Yes, I don't want anymore. I had enough. I'm full," or something in that regard. And I said, "Do you see? A 2-year-old knows when she had enough."
Wow.
Why
That's
is it that when the kids become 3, 4, 5 years old and we tell them what's enough for them
right. Okay.
and what's too
So
much?
really, that's for a whole other subject. But when I sit with my daughter and my daughter-in-laws, they're upset about the whole culture of food in schools. That a lot of reward is with food, and a lot of
Right.
arts and
Yeah,
yes,
okay. I,
the
I I
live
don't
is going to be
condone that either.
saved. But just 1 second, someone just asked if the live is going to be saved. Yeah, I'm going to save it as soon as we finish. So if you want to watch the whole thing, you could. Um, the arts and crafts and day camps are all with food. What happened to the real old-fashioned arts and crafts? Why do we have to use licorice to make, But that's a whole
Right.
other
Yeah.
discussion. I wanna,
Yeah.
we
But I
want to
think
bring.
I've seen some changes. My kids aren't in school for a very long time already, and especially not in preschools. But I haven't seen that much with the food. But I've also heard a lot of schools are changing that. No,
Okay, that would be
I don't know.
wonderful.
I
You're
think so.
welcome. Okay, Miriam. So first of all, how do people buy this book?
Well, it's in all the Judaica stores. It's on Amazon. It's on Menucha Publishing website.
Okay, and how do
You
they
can
get
go
in touch with you? Like if someone wants to write a memoir or
right.
they need
So I
a
have a
writing done
website.
for a project or something.
Right. I have a website. It's pagezero.io. That's my
Let me
website.
let me just type it in. Page zero.
.io.
Okay, page zero dot io. Okay.
Okay, that's my website, and you have my email and my website, everything at the end of the book. You can contact me through there. I specialize in memoirs, and I do resumes and whatever kind of writing you might need.
Okay, and what's your Instagram handle?
Um,
At Wiser Miriam, right?
I guess yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna type it in so that people should have it.
Who made such a
Okay,
beautiful
someone's
website?
asking who made that website. I guess
My son-in-law.
one of
My
your
daughter is
son-in-law.
asking.
Nice, nice. That's so cute. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's good. We have that in common, our families. When I got the job at Tory Burch, I basically just walked into all the stores in the neighborhood and I asked who needs a holiday help. When I
yeah.
came into
Oh
when I
wow.
went in, yeah, when I went into Tory Burch and she said that she needs help, I should send in a resume. I didn't have one. I hadn't worked in years. So I quickly called my daughter-in-law, who works in an office. She's very efficient, and she put it in an hour. I had it and I sent it in.
Yeah. And today with
So it's cute.
ChatGPT, you
So
can do anything online. The only thing is that people who are getting resumes for future employees, they're not going to read through a whole, novel with a bunch of extra information that's not short and to the
no, it has
point
to be
is
short,
my
sweet, to the
way,
point.
and it has to lok human.
Right.
So
Less
people
is
still
more
call me
also,
for
right.
resumes. Yeah.
Less is more. Miriam, informative and so inspiring, and you are an inspiration because I always wanted to write a book. Maybe one day I will.
Yeah.
Um, it's just, keep on going. What should I say? I'm sure. Did you get any feedback from the book? Like, have people called you or written
I've
to you?
gotten emails and messages from, and every message says the same thing. I'm brave and courageous, okay, and how they relate to the story because I look at people on the street and I know what they're thinking. I don't think that I'm the only one that's thinking these same things because we all have issues with food. Look what's going on in the stores. Look what's going on in the magazines with the ads. Look what's going on for Yom
Right.
Tov and the
Yeah.
gifting and the boards and these are all kinds of things. It's like out of hand.
Right.
But
So I blame that a lot on the fact that we're trying to keep a quote unquote kosher environment, and food somehow is still not a forbidden subject. For instance, I'll give you an example.
you,
Like I have a friend that works in a furniture store, and she can't believe how, if there's a Matzah Shabbos sale, how crowded. And I said, I totally understand it because this is the form of entertainment. Where is a couple going on Matzah Shabbos? They're not going to go, somewhere to watch, let's say, a movie in
that's the
Manhattan.
point you made in your
Yeah.
foreword, which I'm going to formally thank you now for speaking with me and helping me write, answering my questions and writing that forward in my book. So thank you for your time and that. But that's the point that you made that food is the last, like, okay, there's music and but it is
Right.
a form, especially the kind that people can do by themselves in their own house, in their own four walls where no one's looking and yeah.
Right. Right. And food is also always accessible. And like what you shared with me and in the book, every single one of our Yom Tovim have to do with food. There's always a Suda, there's always a meal,
Right. And I
there's
feel
always
like
a
there's a
challah, there's
message
always a
in there.
washing.
Yeah,
Yeah. But again, just like everything in life, it's moderation. The same thing
moderation.
goes with food. Same thing goes with food, with relationships, with boundaries, with people. That's all, what, and it's a lifelong process. So kol hakavod that you wrote this book.
I'm writing a
Everybody,
book about moderation. I need someone to push me to finish it, because when you're writing nonfiction yourself, it's one of the hardest things. If I'm writing somebody's story, it's hard because it's hard to go through. It's a big job, but you have the story. But if I'm writing nonfiction, it's hard to sit myself down and to actually get to do it. But I need to do it because my people are begging me to write something lighter and funner, because I've been writing
So,
heavy
right. So, as a
things.
life coach, I'll tell you the first thing that I always tell everybody when they come in that they need to finish something or a project. It's consistency single day. So if you will set a timer, even if it's just 10 minutes, Miriam, that's a very small amount of time. But if it's every day 10 minutes, the same time, 9 to 9, 10 a.m. I like mornings. I'm a morning person. It gets done. If there's a month or 2 or 3, you're gonna see it finished. But it's that
Oh, I
consistency at
know
the same
that.
time. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
remember when I said in the beginning how I don't like to be accountable for things? This
Oh,
is
I
one
see
of
what you're
those things.
saying.
I'm not a very disciplined person, but I'm working on it.
So
Yeah,
they're
I mean, I did finish 4
called
books, so I'm a
phone a
little bit
friend.
disciplined.
It's called Yeah, it's called phone a friend, meaning you
Right.
text a friend, this is what I'm going to do for the next week, and you text her when you're done with it. It's like,
Okay, friend.
yeah, okay, so text me, I'm fine. You can text me. Okay, we're going to end. I'm going to save the live. I'm going to
Yeah.
invite you as a collaborator again so that you could post
Okay.
it on your page as well. Okay,
Okay. Thank you very
great. Good
much.
night. Yes, it was so
Okay.
wonderful. Take care. Good
Okay,
night.
take
Bye.
care.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.